Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Living Life with Leora. I'm your host, Leora Acoca-Golberg. Today's episode is about breast implant illness and what true healing looks like after breast reconstruction and explant surgery. It's also about courage and how adversity can turn into growth and self empowerment. Because today, my guest turned a very difficult journey into purpose. My guest today is Stacy Trapanese, and she's a mother of two. She's a health coach, and she's an incredibly strong woman. At age 20 years old, she underwent a breast reconstruction due to a how do you say congenital chest wall condition. And over the years, she had multiple breast surgeries, and including implant exchanges. And eventually, her last explant was in May of 2024. She underwent then a revision surgery with Dr. Randall Feingold, who is an expert in breast reconstruction, and that changed everything for her. She's today sharing her story so other women can feel informed, empowered, and less alone. Stacy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, Stacy, take us back to when you were 20 and how your journey started, your health journey started.
So, I'll actually take you back a little bit before that. When I was just hitting puberty, I had noticed that I was not developing on one side of my chest, on my left side. And back then, I'm 49 now. Back then, there were no, to my knowledge, there wasn't a fat transfer. We didn't know what we could do,
Yeah.
and so the only option was to get implants. So I did a little correction. I did get my first set of implants at 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
The doctor did not know what to call my congenital defect.
Hmm.
It's Poland syndrome, but he said it was an inverted nipple,
Oh, wow.
which it was not. And he basically did the surgery, and he did an awful job. He put the implants in way too deep into my muscle. The incisions were so thick, they were like this thick under my breasts.
Yeah.
They weren't even under my breasts, they were on the breast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was an A cup on one side and nothing on the other. So there wasn't even enough tissue and skin to do this kind of surgery.
Yeah.
But he was not skilled. So I had a revision surgery with a surgeon in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "You need silicone implants. You cannot have saline. They're not going to form to your body. You're not going to have the results you want." And I asked him point blank, "Don't silicone implants cause cancer?"
Hmm.
Because this was in the 90s now, when
Yeah.
all these things were, every talk show, right, was had all this on. And so he said, "Why would we give you implants if they caused cancer? Why would we do that?"
Yeah.
And I got my silicone implants.
Because you listen to your plastic surgeon, you trust him.
Exactly. Right? We trust what we're
Yeah,
told. So,
absolutely. And there wasn't at the time black box like we have now on breast implants that inform women.
correct. But when I got my silicone implants, they were actually banned.
Oh,
But surgeons were able to still access them if they had certain cases.
yes,
So I was considered a special case.
yes. So when did you actually start feeling that something was wrong, and when you start having symptoms after that breast augmentation?
So about a year after having those implants put in, I started to get swollen glands,
Mm.
constant sore throats. I always felt extreme fatigue. I could sleep 12 hours and still feel tired. So that's kind of when I knew something wasn't right.
Yes.
But I still was just so happy to be fixed that I wasn't necessarily wanting to believe it was the implants.
So what's happening next with your awareness? I mean, what happened next? When you're not feeling well, do you start running to doctors? What tests did you ask them to do for you?
Yeah, no, I kept going to my PCP and I said, I'm always getting sick. And she's like, you are always getting sick, but let's track it. And she basically chalked it up to my cycle.
Hmm.
She's like, you get sick right before your cycle. So it's your cycle. It's hormonal.
Wow. Were you told at any point that it was just in your head, maybe?
Um, yes, I did have one doctor, believe it or not, a naturopath.
Mm. Mind body
Shockingly.
connection, right?
Yeah, I was like, "You're a natural doctor and you're telling me it's in." She said, "Your labs are not as bad as you think. You're really okay." And then I went to another doctor, a functional doctor, and
Mhm.
she ran every test under the sun. It was like 30 something vials of blood.
Yeah.
And it came up that I had lupus.
Mm. Out of nowhere, just you were healthier before your breast implants, but now you're coming positive to lupus.
Yes.
And but did at any point anybody sort of connected having breast implant to lupus?
Not a single doctor connected it. My dad connected it.
Because your
He's
parents
a
know
very,
you better, yeah,
yeah,
than
and he's a
anyone
very,
else.
he knew when he said to me, when I was younger, he
Hmm.
said, "Don't get those things. They're going to make you sick."
Yes,
And I
because
did.
they're foreign device, and when you put a foreign device in your
Right.
body, but you were also very young and you wanted to have an identity as a woman and you wanted to look pretty and attractive. That's very understandable.
Yeah, of course.
So take us through the timeline. What's happening next in terms of your awareness and your health?
So I would gain weight. I kept gaining weight. I couldn't keep it off. Or I would lose weight and then not be able to keep it off. So obviously my thyroid was now being impacted. Um, and the fatigue was debilitating,
Yeah,
and then I wound up getting married
that's a
and
good thing.
I could not conceive. We tried for a year. My hormones were out of whack. So we wound up going the route of fertility. And even everything with pregnancy, I was exhausted. I know women get exhausted during pregnancy, but it was fatigue beyond normal. Beyond that, it was I can't function fatigue. And even after I had my son, I felt so unwell for such a long period of time. And I'm like, I don't think this is normal to feel like this. And it just kept going. And then in the summer, I was sitting outside in the sun and I developed the lupus rash.
Mm.
I got it all over my chest, my arms, my legs. And I'm like, something is just not right. Like I don't feel right. And it was still years before I even knew I had lupus.
Oh,
It,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah, my son was just born. He's 15 now. So
So
it
how
was a
was
long time.
Yeah. So what happened between then and your first explant? I mean, how do you decide? Because I think this is the point where women are struggling, where they have some conditions and symptoms, but they are struggling with self-diagnosing themselves, especially when you had it, which is not like 2026, it was a long time ago. So when are you actually sort of thinking, okay, maybe I need to explant?
So it wasn't until 2020
Wow.
I had herniated a disc in my back
Yeah.
and I went to a chiropractor and he put me on the table and he went to do an adjustment and I felt a burn on my left side. And I said, something happened. He ruptured my implant.
Hmm.
So now I don't think anything of it because I was not sure. I'm like, I don't know. I think he ruptured it. Something didn't, but then I felt fine.
Yeah.
But I developed a fever and I started to develop breathing issues. And of course, this was on the beginning of COVID.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, COVID just was starting up.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm like, I have COVID. I'm like, I have COVID. And then I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And I got nervous that I had maybe a blood clot in my lung or COVID lungs, whatever was going on at the
So,
time. And
yeah.
I went to the hospital. I was dismissed 2 times. I went to the hospital twice, was dismissed twice. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third time I went back and I said, I cannot breathe. And they said, fine, you want a CAT scan? Would that make you feel better? That's exactly what the doctor said to me.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, it will make me feel better. And he said, okay. He did the CAT scan. He's like, your lungs are fine, sent me home. And something told me to read my discharge papers. And in my discharge papers, it said ruptured left breast prosthesis.
Oh, no way. So he never thought to inform you of that. Obviously, he checked your lung. He didn't care about if you had a ruptured, or he didn't think it was important. I mean, I don't know what was going through his head, but what is your next step when you actually see that you have a ruptured implant?
I freaked out.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
oh my God. And then I wound up starting to research surgeons
yeah.
to perform an explant. Of course, I scoured the internet, Instagram. I wound up meeting my friend Amanda Porta. She's the holistic beauty coach. Um, and I reached out to her. I was asking her about surgeons, and at the time, she could only give me a surgeon in California. And I'm like, I am like a mom with 2 children. I
Yeah.
cannot fly out to California. And even financially, I'm like, I cannot stay in California to heal. I
It's a
just can't do.
burden. It's definitely a
Yeah,
burden. I mean, that you don't think about when you have breast augmentation.
no, because no one tells you that.
Exactly.
So I wound up finding a surgeon where I live in New Jersey.
Just a quick question. Was he board certified plastic
Yes,
surgeon? He was.
yes, he was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking because I know the continuation of the story, but that's a good question that we want to ask as patients.
Yeah, for sure. So he was board certified. He's known all over the state for what is it? When your breasts are too large and a reduction. He's
Yeah.
known for like reductions and things like that.
Yeah.
But I met with a surgeon in the city also. I did not like, he said to me, I said, I don't want implants again. And he said, why not? And I'm like, you're not the right surgeon for me because you're dismissing that I feel I have breast implant illness.
Yeah. So who are you picking in the end?
So I picked the guy from New Jersey and he believes him. He's like, oh, I understand women have said they're sick, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, so what would you perform then? And he said, I will perform a complete, total capsulectomy, total capsulectomy. And I
Which
said, okay,
mean, let's just pause here for a second, which mean removing the breast implant and the capsule together. Um, it's not, but let's differentiate. It's not en bloc explant because en bloc explant, the plastic surgeon remove the breast implant and the capsule in one piece entirely. When you
right,
do capsulectomy, the doctor can actually remove the breast implant and then the capsule.
right. So I wasn't wholly familiar with the terms. I didn't know the term
Yeah,
en bloc yet or anything. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. That's what I want. I want
yeah,
everything out.
yeah.
And he was like, okay, the day of surgery comes. I'm like happy. I'm confident that that is what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And then when I wake up from surgery, I said to my husband, the first thing I said,
Yeah,
did he get everything out? And my husband said, he said he could only take out some of the capsule.
yeah. So let me just here pause for a second, and Ben, our producer, is going to pull what actually your plastic surgeon left behind.
Yep.
So it's not very comfortable to look at it, but these are two pieces of capsule, very large actually, they're not small,
Uh
that
huh.
were left behind. And basically, he just closed your chest, left it behind, and you're in recovery room. That's the story.
That's the story.
Yes.
Yep.
So take us
So,
forward to what's happening with you are actually thinking that you are going to heal at this point because you have removed your ruptured implant.
so I did actually start to feel better
Hmm.
for 1 year.
Yes.
And I'm now I know looking back,
Mm-hmm.
the implant itself was out of me. So my body wasn't fighting as hard as it had to.
Yes.
So no wonder I lost weight, I felt better, but my hair was still falling out.
Mm.
I was still having hormonal issues,
At
still
this
having
point, sorry for interrupting. At this
no, it's
point,
okay.
are you already a health coach?
Nope.
Not yet, but you are into it and you have a lot of awareness and you're doing your research.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That this is what like brought me on that journey.
Exactly.
So I was, I'm like, my hair's still falling out. I had to go on thyroid medicine, a thyroid hormone. And I'm like, I still don't feel good. I still don't feel good. So I'm a very intuitive person.
Yeah.
And I just really kept getting the nudge that the capsules were not, none were removed. And so then I went on the journey to reach out. I found Dr. Feingold and I reached out to him. I think it was in 2022.
Wow.
I reached out to
But
him
are
and
you
didn't
at
have
that point,
surgery.
sorry, at this point, are you navigating in all the Facebook because there is so much information there and there are many stories that women are sharing? So were you actually there and getting some answers?
So I had joined one of the Facebook groups, breast implant illness healing. I'm sorry, with Nicole.
Yes,
I got kicked out of the group.
like everybody else.
I know. Um, I also felt the group was sometimes insufferable. People could be really negative, as in most support groups. I mean, this happens across the board. So I just was like, you know what? You kicked me out. I'm happy to leave. I'm happy to be gone. Um, so I was hearing a lot of stories, but I really developed, like I said, a very close friendship with Amanda Porta, and she was really helping me, guiding me.
Yes.
Um,
But at this point, you're already in touch with Dr. Randall Feingold, or let's just uh, say that he's one of the leading experts in the States, in the United States, and he's the co-founder of New York Breast Reconstruction and Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. So he have had a lot of experience with women with breast cancer and very
mhm.
complicated breast reconstruction surgeries. So you are coming to him, and what's happening when you see him? I mean, what kind of test he gives you, and what are you realizing at that point?
Well, he didn't give me any, aside from like pre-op blood work.
Yeah.
There was no other testing. But when I went to see him, it's funny because I had such bad shoulder and neck pain
Mm-hmm.
after that first explant.
Yes.
And I went for fascia therapy. I tried everything.
Yes.
Nothing it would take it away, not take it away, but it would reduce the pain somewhat
Yes.
and then it would be back.
Yes.
And so all up here was all puffy.
Mm.
And Dr. Feingold looked at me and he touched and he goes, "What's this about?" I said, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about." And he said, "Yeah, we're going to figure that out." And turns out the last surgeon had left my muscles completely unattached
Wow.
and they were up here like an accordion.
So
And so that
was
was where
this
the pain
affect
was coming from.
was this affecting your function? I guess it was the pectoralis muscle, right? The
Yeah.
minor or the major. So did you feel other than pain also that you could not push or hang, or did you lose any strength in your upper chest and arms?
I lost a ton of strength. Years ago, my husband and I owned a gym. We were kickboxing instructors.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
could do full body push-ups, even with my implants. I could do full
Yeah.
body everything. I had no strength at
Yeah.
all.
That explains.
I'm still rebuilding strength.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
So let's continue. And so you realize that your muscle are not attached properly or not at all. And what is the next step?
So after that, so like I said, I contacted Dr. Feingold in 2022. I developed a friend, like an online rapport with him, not a friendship, but a rapport.
Yes.
And I just loved the fact that he ran his own social media and he actually I reached out to him and he responded to me. So then when it was time
Yes.
to have a consult,
Yes.
he reached out to me and he said, I know you. I know, like, I'm familiar with you. I'm just going to call you if that's okay. And I was like, of course, because not many doctors are like that.
Yes.
And he got on the phone with me. He's like, what's going on? I told him. He's like, I want to see you. I want to obviously be able to see you in person. I want to assess everything. And I'm like, absolutely.
Yes.
So 3 hour drive to Dr. Feingold in 2024.
Amazing. So take us to the next step. So you have all these symptoms, right? And
Yep.
in terms of, we'll look into what test you have done, because I know that women are very curious about what lab test or imaging you have to do. I'll ask you in a second. But so do you have already at that point a date where you're going to explant or I mean, remove the scar tissues
Capsules.
and the
Yeah.
capsules? Yeah.
I wound up going to see him. I think it was maybe this time of year,
Yeah.
around
May.
maybe like
Yeah.
Marchish. I went to
Yeah.
go see him, and then we scheduled my surgery for May.
Yes.
And I had surgery with him, but he had a lot to correct. And my capsules came out, they slid right off my rib cage.
Were they
And they were
attached to your rib cage?
yeah, but he said they slid right off. So I guess
They were loose.
they're yeah, they were slippery. So but he said, he goes, that surgeon who told you, he removed some or
Hmm.
he removed none.
Yeah. And you can
And
see it. I think we pulled that image earlier, and you
yeah,
could see, maybe we can pull it again, and you can see that this is like the full capsule. It's not like remnants, small pieces left over. It was right there for like 3 years. So did you get the pathology result of these capsules?
I did get the pathology, and thank God everything was okay, but there was residual silicone that was left in the capsule. And Dr. Feingold said that there were,
Hmm.
I really don't remember exactly, but you could tell that my body was fighting the silicone because there were certain cells
Yes,
inside the capsule.
immune activation around the silicone. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, that your body was fighting for you.
Wow.
And
And that's explain why you were tired, and you had all these symptoms,
yes.
fatigue.
And then in the interim of all of this as well, we had found out that we were living in mold.
Hmm. No,
So
that
it
kills
was
you.
it was like a storm, just a storm of things also happening.
So when is okay, so you're having your explant surgery in May of 2024. I'm just trying to recreate the timeline. So take us through, so the surgery is how many hours?
I think it was 2 hours, 2.5.
Okay, so did you had also other procedure during that time?
I did. So I wound up having, so because the last surgeon, he literally just made incisions and pulled my implants out. He didn't do any kind of scar revision, nothing.
Yeah.
And so my scars were on my rib cage.
And it was
They,
showing off. You couldn't
you
wear
could
even
see them.
yeah,
I couldn't wear like a two-piece. You would see it. You
yeah,
see they were well under my bra
yeah,
line. So Dr. Feingold was like, I don't know what this is. He's funny, like in
yeah.
his delivery of things. He's like, I don't know what this is, but
He's
he's
my
like, I don't.
plastic surgeon too, so I
Right,
know how
right.
funny he is.
He's like, I don't like this. He's like, this is not aesthetically pleasing. He's like, I am a plastic surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I have to fix this. And I'm like, okay. But in doing so, he had to cut my abdominal muscles and pull them up
Yeah.
to get the scars to be under the breast.
Yes.
Um,
So
and
you got a
then
bonus there too.
it was a bonus for sure. Yeah.
You got a flatter stomach.
Yeah. And then he also did a fat transfer to bring some volume to, I'm a double A.
Yeah.
That's my breast size. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But there was like nothing on the left side. And he's like, let's, give it some volume.
Yeah.
And then he did an areola revision
Yeah.
on my right side.
That's good because it pulls some of the skin. Uh, did you had one fat transfer or 2 rounds?
I just had one fat transfer.
Yeah. So I had twice because I wanted to get to the right volume.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand that sometimes once you have it once, after all the breast surgeries that you had, you're saying enough is enough. I'm going to live my life right now.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I wear clothes. No one
Yeah.
sees my breast. Like it's not a big deal to me. The next surgery I get might be on my face. So I'm like, I'll just save for that.
So, how tell us, how does healing after all this? You have lupus, you have mold. How does healing looks like? And then you are also in a process of becoming a health coach. So obviously you're studying a lot of modalities that helps to detox and heal. So what is the process for you? How do you start doing your detox and the healing process?
So after I got my implants out, I did give my body at least 3 months, 3 to 4 months to just heal and do what it needed to do.
Yeah.
But still doing gentle things like focusing on minerals, um, doing some dry brushing, nothing aggressive,
Yeah.
um, trying to sweat as much as I could once the 3 month mark was up, because
Yes.
sweating will obviously reduce it could it's harmful for your fat transfer. So I waited the 3 months, and then I started to like just do the sauna
Yeah.
and things like that. But gentle ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I started heavy metal detoxing.
How do you do the heavy metal detox?
So I take a supplement called Cyto Detox,
Mm-hmm.
and I took binders from Cellcore Biosciences, as I'm a practitioner for those brands. And
Yes.
so I just started slowly, very slowly, like literally 3 drops of this tincture
Mm-hmm.
and my binders,
Yeah.
uh, focusing on diet and just getting as many nutrients in as I could, taking specific vitamins that are for my body, um, which I have MTHFR, the genetic mutation.
Yeah.
So detoxing is a little bit more difficult for people that have these mutations. So I made sure that my B vitamins were specific to what my body needed. I had a friend help me with that,
Yeah, I
who's
was going to
also.
ask, were you seen by a doctor? Were you doing at that point some blood tests to oversee the markers in your body and so on?
So I went to my rheumatologist because he ran certain markers, and then I also went to my regular doctor who ran certain markers.
Yeah.
I can read lab work. I could read lab work from a functional perspective.
Yes.
So your CBC tells you a lot of what's going on in your body. Your white blood cell count, red blood cell count, liver markers. If you know how to read functional lab work,
Yeah.
you'll understand that a low liver marker means that you're under eating and you have some hypothyroid issues happening or whatever. So um, I was able to read my labs, and I sent it to a friend who's also an integrative health practitioner,
Yeah.
and she was able to kind of guide me also on which B vitamins I should be taking,
Yeah.
all separately, because there's B complex, which I was
Exactly.
always taking, but it wasn't good for my body.
So it's really important at that point when you're starting to heal to either have friends, if you're lucky, that are health practitioners or doctor, functional doctor that can help you, or go to somebody, pay for their services and do it the proper way.
100%. Unfortunately, in my journey, I had gone to functional doctors. I had paid a lot of money,
Yes.
and a lot of times they were missing the mark. One functional doctor told me that breast implant illness is not an issue.
Yes, I think that we have raised so much awareness in the past 5 years
Yep.
that it's recognized. Breast implant illness is a term recognized. It's recognized by the FDA, by doctors, Plastic Surgeon Association, and so on. So, um, anything else? Let's say if a woman today start that journey, and what are your recommendation to her? She's just before explanting, or she's having symptoms. So that's, I think, a very crucial point, right? What are your recommendation for a woman who has a suspicion that she may have issues with her implants?
My recommendation is to do her research. Just start researching it. Go on Instagram, go on TikTok. A lot of people learn a lot of things on TikTok,
Absolutely.
you know.
Bad and good.
Yeah, bad and good, correct. So, just research. You don't have to join groups necessarily, especially if they're negative, like the one I joined early on. Um, but just research as much as you can, because
Yeah.
knowledge is power, and especially with this, there are so many surgeons who are lying. They're flat out lying.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. So, in that case, what surprised you the most about explant recovery process?
I think the hardest part is seeing your body after your implants come out.
Wow, that's such an honest answer, and I think that I felt exactly the same.
Mm,
Tell me
yeah,
more about that. It's interesting, right?
it is interesting, and I think that kind of pushed me to almost feel like this radical self-love that I never felt before for myself, because I always knocked my body. And especially having, not feeling like a woman because of Poland syndrome and things like that. So I I cried.
Mm.
I did cry at the first explant. The second one with Dr. Feingold, I didn't. That was already, I already knew what to expect, but it didn't even look the same. It was completely different. But I cried, and then I hugged myself. I know it sounds weird,
Yeah,
but I hugged myself and I thanked my body for putting up with me,
yeah,
putting up with my crap, that I would starve it. I would, over exercise. I refused to get the implants. Like, in my mind, I'm like, it's not that. It's not that. For how many years?
of course. You
You
don't want to
know?
remove them. It looks pretty. It's part
Right.
of
It
your
looks better.
identity at this
Right.
point, you know?
Yeah. So I really feel that it was such a healing moment,
Hmm.
even though I was sad.
Yeah, but this kind of surgery, I don't know why I can't explain it, but it's really such an empowering journey because it doesn't start and end with explant surgery, but it actually it start the healing process and like you said, you're getting stronger. You learn how to love yourself. Start at the moment you explanted.
Exactly. And I felt also this strange thing. Um, so I also do energy work,
Mhm.
and
That's interesting.
I was speaking with another person who does energy work, and she was like, kept explaining to her that I feel this overwhelming feeling of love, that it brings me, I keep crying. And she said, well, because your implants were blocking your heart chakra.
Absolutely. And your lungs as well. I mean, it's crazy. I remember that I couldn't take a full deep breath, and that was part of why I didn't want to meditate because in meditation, you
Hmm.
are breathing all the way to the crown of your head, and I could not do it. And I actually had to train my rib cage muscles to expand properly and to breathe properly after my explant surgery. But that's another story because we need a lot of work to rehabilitate the muscle and the area there where there are so many scar tissues.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm still working on rib cage breathing. I'm still working. I use like a little massage gun, and I'm just like
Yeah, that's
gently
good.
put it over my rib cage and everything, because there is a ton of scar tissue from all. I had 4 surgeries,
Yeah.
so
So as we wrap up the session, I mean, how do you want to leave that session in terms of how do you want to inspire? Obviously, your story is inspiring. You started in a young age, and then you're taking the adversities and you're making it a purpose to heal and to share your story very courageously. So, what is your message to women today that are going through this healing crisis?
it gets better. It gets better. Just trust the process, and it's a roller coaster, but you will come out on the other side.
And I want to add, this is beautifully said. I really want to add to it and that the fact that you came here and you're sharing your story, it just shows that uh, these women are not alone and we are all connected. And I think that the power of being part of your community, a group, having a friend that is going through that journey with you or friends is such a powerful tool to healing. And that connects to what you said so beautifully about love, self-love.
Hmm. Yeah. It's like I said, it's not an easy journey to see your body when you've had it one way for so long. That gave
Yes.
you confidence and everything else, but it is very healing to know that now you have your body back
Yes, and
and
you
it's,
build up from there.
yeah, and it's authentic, you
Exactly.
know,
It's all
it's,
natural.
yeah, yeah, it's in its authentic form, and that is really what's most important.
So, Stacy, where are you practicing now? I mean, I'm obviously going to add your link so people can get in touch with you if they want. And you are right now a health coach and you're helping women. What are you focusing on?
Honestly, a lot of clients that I have had mold illness. They haven't
Mm.
had breast implant illness, but
Yeah.
I have spoken with a lot of women who do have breast implant illness in
Yes.
general. You know, women who've reached out to me because of my story or my social media. Um, but it's a lot of women with mold illness. So, um,
So, were you able to eradicate the mold in your system or are you still in the process?
still in the process because I went back in time and I've been exposed to mold since I'm a child.
Okay. So, but how long does it take to eradicate mold? Because I know a lot of women that have breast implant have also mold.
That actually happened to my cousin who did go to Dr. Feingold also.
Mm-hmm.
She had silicone implants
Mm-hmm.
and she was doing all detoxes. She went to a functional doctor.
Yeah.
I was also helping her, all of this stuff. And she kept testing positive for mold.
Wow.
And she's like, I don't understand. There was a little bit in my home. We got it remediated. She's like, I don't understand why I'm still testing for this. And then when her implants were removed, they were loaded with mold.
Yes, that's part.
So,
I mean, about 30% of women will come positive after explant to something, you know, whether it's mold, pathogens, viruses, whatever. So it's good that you remove them and you know, that kind of post-explant healing is a process indeed. And I want to thank you, Stacy, for sharing your story. You've been very courageous to come forward and share it. I really appreciate it. And anybody who wants to get in touch with Stacy, I'm going to leave. Shall we leave a maybe email address?
yeah.
What do
And
you
you
prefer?
could link my website.
Your website, perfect.
Mhm.
We'll link it below. Thank you, everybody. Stay healthy until our next episode. Stay safe, Stacy, in New Jersey. I guess it's snowing right now.
Yes. We're done with
Okay.
winter here.
Okay. Enjoy and stay warm.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.